Hey everyone, how's it going? My name's Albert and today we're in the Arizona desert. But today we're going to be talking about the Arizona Game and Fish Commission ban on trail cameras. Alright, I am highly against this ban of trail cameras that the commission is proposing. There was a first period for people to go ahead and open up comments and say whether they were for it or they were against the ban. That was in January 1st to February 1st. We have the results of those, and they've opened up a new period now. If you did not know that, they opened up a new period of comments from March 11th to April 11th. So you still have time to go in there and make a comment on whether or not you are for the trail camera ban or not. All right, that is going to be at rulemaking at AZGFD.gov. That's rulemaking at AZGFD.gov until April 11th. So get your comments in. If there's one point that I want to make with everyone here that you take away from this video, is that the Arizona Game and Fish Commission have not done any studies, they have not done any research, they have done none of that with trail cameras and the effect on wildlife. All the laws that they implement here or they propose, they have not done any research for, okay? You would think if you're gonna enforce law on people that you would have a good enough reason to do so. Okay, instead of just people complaining. All right, that would make sense. But I'm gonna go through the results of that first period of comments that we got from January 1st to February 1st, and then what they decided to do after that. So, okay, so there was 2,742 total comments from January 1st to February 1st. Now let me make this very clear. There is way more people that hunt in Arizona than just 2,700 people. Way more. Okay, so I know there's a silent majority of hunters out there who just don't even care. They haven't picked up a rule book probably in the last 10 years. All they care is if they can go get a tag over the counter or get drawn so they can go out camping and getting drunk. I get it, all right? But a lot of people don't care what the Game and Fish do on a regular basis. They just want to buy their tags, go out and have a good time and go camping, okay? They're not invested in what is going on in the Game and Fish, and I guarantee a lot of people don't even know that there's a second period of comments being considered either. So 2,700 people from January 1st to February 1st put comments in. 1,200 opposed the law changes. 1,200 people said, we don't want this change, get it out of here, we don't want it, we completely opposed it. Okay, 832 supported the ban, that they want it to be banned. Okay, and 442 suggested additional regulations or a partial ban. Okay, now on those 442, the commission decided, well, let's go ahead and implement some of those suggestions, not take away any of the proposed laws, but let's go ahead and add to the proposed laws. And those two items that they added to was the prohibit the use of trail cameras for the purpose of taking or aiding in the take of wildlife within a quarter mile of a developed water source. What is that going to do? You're going to have a quarter-mile circle around that water hole, okay, of trail cameras. That's not going to do anything, okay? Allow the use of trail cameras to aid in the take of wildlife from February 1st to June 30th, as long as the camera is not placed within a quarter mile of a developed water source. So that means you can have a trail camera within a quarter mile of a water source, or you can't have it within a quarter mile of a water source, and it only has to be during February 1st to June 30th. Otherwise, you can't have it. So while it's season, you can't have a trail camera out there is one of the suggestions. That's a stupid suggestion, whatever. So they added more rules to the proposed ban. They didn't take any away. They completely disregarded the 1,200 people who said, we don't want any of this. And they just went ahead and added 2 more. That's kind of dumb. Okay, what else we got here? Concerns over the trail camera. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over the proposed bans that they initially had in the beginning, and I'm going to give you my opinion on it. Okay? Concerns over the use of trail cameras as it relates to fair chase, commission policy on fair chase. This applies to areas where water is primary point source of water and game cannot escape detection. So basically what they're saying is that it's not fair chase to have a trail camera. It's not fair chase to have a trail camera because it's it's putting the animals in a stressful environment because you're putting a camera on their water source. That's ridiculous. They can't escape detection, okay? I can't tell you how many trail cameras I had on water sources, and then when it came to hunting season, those deer were nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found, all right? So, not only that, but game animals, primarily here in the most arid place of Arizona, primarily drink water at night. Very rarely do you see them coming in during the day to get a drink of water. That's right, like 120-degree weather, and these deer are not coming and getting water, okay? They're staying down in the bushes in the shade, trying to use as much energy, least energy as possible. So, primarily using water at night, trail cameras do not aid in my ability to take an animal, okay? I don't need a trail camera to kill an animal, so why are we banning it? The only thing I use a trail camera for, is to know if I want to spend time scouting this area or not, okay? I want to see what the primary, animals are in the area, in the remote area, and I'm going to decide whether or not I want to spend time over here or time over there scouting. I'm still going to have to spend hours and hours and hours and hours of scouting. I'm still going to have to sneak up on that animal, get within 60 yards with my bow, and take a shot at it. All right? I'm still going to have to pattern it. I'm still going to have to get boots on the ground and do something in order for me to go and get that animal. Trail camera has nothing to do with any of that, except for the fact that it just shows me what's in the area. Shows me where I want to invest my time at. I still have miles to cover in order to take the animal. So that doesn't make any sense. Okay, next rule. Concerns that the use of trail cameras has become an increasing source of conflict between and amongst hunters, including the sense of ownership over a water source and hunting area. Well, to me, that's an ethical issue that does not need law enforcement interaction. Okay? That's an ethics. That's ethics between hunters. All right? You don't get a spot. It's first come, first serve. If you see a hunter in your spot, guess what? That sucks, bro. Go find another one. That's why you have to have 2, 3, 4 backup spots to the places that you're going to go hunt. If I go in an area and I see there's a hunter right where I want to be at, all right, we're going to plan B. All right, that's called preparation. That does not need law enforcement. That does not warrant banning trail cameras. Oh, I had my trail camera here on this water source, so that's my spot, even though you beat me to the spot. That's an ethics issue. That's a simple conversation that hunters can handle on their own between each other. Not warranting a law change. Okay? Concerns that frequent visits to set/check trail cameras are creating a significant disturbance to wildlife during extended dry periods of the year. Again, there is no research, there are no studies done that is actually true. There's no research. There's none. There's no research on whether or not these deer are being deprived of their water because people are going in so often and checking their cameras. There's no research or studies to back that up or prove that at all. So that doesn't make sense to me. Again, this is one of the most driest places in Arizona, and guess what? Our populations of mule deer especially are flourishing. There's plenty of mule deer. There's a large amount of mule deer actually. So to tell me that, they're dying of dehydration doesn't make much sense to me. Trail cameras are pushing them off of water and there's mass amounts of deer dying from it. Doesn't make any sense. It's unwarranted. All right, next page. Concerns among some livestock operators that frequent visits to set/check trail cameras are negatively affecting livestock operations. Now this one is the only one that I can sit here and say, okay, let's figure this out a little bit, because the ranchers probably do have some issues with people going in and on their water sources. I think it's more of an annoyance more than it is an actual issue for their livestock. It's a human-to-human issue. But I grew up in Wyoming and I grew up on several ranches. Cattle are not skittish. Cattle will come right up to you, sniff you, okay? I don't see the issue there. I don't see that many people going to that water source that often. Number one. Two, we paid for those water sources as hunters in Arizona. Our money for tags, for hunting gear, for trail cameras that you buy at the store, the tax on those trail cameras and that hunting gear that you buy at the store goes towards making these water holes, okay? Therefore, we have a decision on whether or not we want to put a trail camera on there. We have a right to know what we want to do with our trail cameras, with our water holes that we use that our money goes towards. We should have a right to say that, whether or not we want it on there or not. Concerns over the potential biological effects of setting/checking trail cameras on point source waters, especially during the ongoing drought. Again, there's another drought claim that has no backing at all, or no studies or research. Pretty much the same issue previously pointed out. But we'll move on. Biological effects, I don't know what they're trying of setting. They're basically saying that a trail camera can sit there for years and it's a biological hazard, okay? If a trail camera is sitting there for multiple years and rotting away, well, a game and fish officer should be able to say, hey, a game and fish officer should have the right to say, I'm gonna put a sticker, all right? Here's the sticker solution I have, or zip tie solution I have. Camera's been there for a while. Put a sticker on it, Arizona Game and Fish sticker. Better call, 90 days. However many days you think is justified, 90 days you got to call. You don't call, I'm taking the camera off. And guess what, Arizona Game and Fish, you ain't gotta pay for trail cameras anymore. You ain't got a budget for trail cameras, because I know the Arizona Game and Fish uses them to track bighorn sheep and other wildlife activities. So, hey, that's an in right there, all right? You got a sticker, call the Arizona Game and Fish, say, I got my trail camera, we're good to go. Can I leave it here a little bit longer? That's all it is. It's a cheap solution right there. It kind of goes ahead on my other point, but whatever. Here's the next one. Concern stemming from photos being taken of other people in the field by trail cameras. This is a public area. This is a public area. If you're getting your picture taken, get over it, all right? This is a public area. This is our water sources that us as hunters have paid for. The civilian, or not, I say civilians because I'm in the military. I was in the military. I gotta get that out of my head right there. Sightseers, rock collectors, whatever you want to call them, hikers, y'all don't pay for the water sources. We do. The hunters do. So you don't have a right to sit here and, oh, I'm getting my picture taken because there's so many trail cameras around this water. Why are you doing at the water source anyway? Go walk off on a trail somewhere. You have no business over there. So it's just irritating. It's our right to put a camera on a water source that we as Arizona hunters have provided. Sightseers don't have a right to tell us what to do with that water source. So throw that one out. Complaints about high numbers of trail cameras on landscapes. Here we go again. Water sources and concerns over the high number of trail cameras that may be on the landscape in the future as the population of Arizona continues to grow rapidly, technology continues to improve, prices go down, and availability increases, saying that trail cameras are becoming cheaper and more people can buy them and put them out. Again, that's the sticker, the zip tie idea. It's a cheap, efficient, and effective way to mitigate this. And then if they don't take their trail camera and it's been there for a year, well, guess what, Game and Fish? You get a free trail camera. Rip that thing off. Now it's yours. All right? Put a sticker on there. They don't want to respond to it, rip it off. Give the Game and Fish officers the authority to do something like that. That's very simple, very cheap, effective way to handle that situation. And then last one here. Complaints about damage to and theft of trail cameras. Okay? When I go and buy a trail camera, I mentally am telling myself this could get stolen. There's a high chance that this is going to get stolen, okay? So I'm not going to get all pissed off about it if it gets stolen. Yeah, I'll be a little bit upset. I'll be like, that sucks. But I'm mentally preparing and financially preparing for that trail camera to be stolen, okay? This law, banning of trail cameras, isn't going to stop crappy people from doing crappy things, okay? There's just crappy people in the world that want to rip off your items or steal things. We can't stop that with a law. You're not going to stop that from happening, okay? It's like trying to ban guns, like Mr. Biden's doing right now, trying to ban and stipulate our Second Amendment. That's not going to solve anything. Criminals are still going to do criminal activity. End of story. They're going to break the law. They don't care about the law. All right, so finally, rulemaking will be heard at the June 11th commission meeting in Payson, Arizona. Any changes will not go in effect until prior to January 1st, 2022. So I encourage everyone to go right now to, the rulemaking at AZGFD.gov and voice your opinion on whether or not trail cameras should be banned or if they should not be banned. They tried doing this in 2018, they got horrible feedback, and then they said, well, we're just gonna ban the cell phone connected ones. We're not gonna ban trail cameras in general. And 2 years later, guess what we're doing? We're having the same conversation again with more and more and more regulations. Completely avoiding the 1,200 people who said we're opposed to the law, going with the 442 suggested for additional regs. It just is dumb in my opinion. It's dumb, all right? I firmly believe that you give them an inch, they take a mile. And that's exactly what's going on here. All right, maybe trail cameras today. I know a lot of hunters don't use trail cameras a whole lot, but it may be trail cameras today, and tomorrow it's the amount of tags they're giving out. It could be anything. Give them an inch, they take a mile. It's an unnecessary rule change. Again, I don't need a trail camera to take an animal. I am going to go out there and put time in and go get my animal regardless. It is just helpful for me to be able to understand the way that they create their habits, the way that they live, the way that they do things, and the potential of an area. That's it. It's unnecessary to ban this. It is not a fair chase issue at all. Just because you have a trail camera doesn't mean you're gonna bag that animal. You still have to get in within killing range of your animal. Make sure it's a clean, ethical shot. You have to sneak up on them. Wind has to be perfect, and you have to make a clean, ethical shot through this Arizona thick bush. Number one, you got to spot the thing on these flat lands. You see how flat it is out here? There's nowhere to get up here in glass. There's nowhere to get up here in glass. It's extremely difficult hunting around here. All right, so I don't see the point in banning an item that is not in the direct aid of taking an animal. Doesn't make any sense to me. So I encourage you, go submit a comment, whether you're yay or nay for it, and we'll see what happens. But I know there is a silent majority of hunters out there in Arizona who are not speaking up, who are not saying anything, and I don't know who's making all these wild accusations of oh, it pushes animals off of water holes, or it does this and it does that to animals, but there's no studies, there's no research, there's nothing. We're just gonna implement laws because of people's complaints. Doesn't make any freaking sense to me. But before I get too worked up and heated anymore, I'm gonna end it right now. So thank you for watching. I have a Harvestlandtv YouTube page. If you wanna go check that out and subscribe, we take veterans out hunting and fishing to combat veteran suicide. If you are a veteran in the local area, hit me up on Facebook, Instagram, or the YouTube page or whatever, and we'll try and link up and take you out fishing or hunting. So thank you for watching. God bless and take care.